Hello there. Welcome to my second match of the league season here against Neqativ. Neqativ. I received some advice in a previous video about how to pronounce it. I don't really know that I can do it. Maybe negative. Anyway, I have a pretty good split here. It's better than the 4-3 for sure, I'd say. For a little bit. Well, no, you can mull around it. I mean, yeah, you're not really draw limited here. This is going to be a big bridge troll thing. Probably someone's going to, I mean, I'll probably 3-pile on like bridge trolls, fishing villages, and something else. I don't know if you even mess around with dens ever. They're just going to probably be slower than just buying an action card that you mull until you find bridge troll. You're going to be a little sensitive to your draw order here in terms of the whether your opening hands let you play 2 bridge trolls and then but cargo ship could be nice. I mean, cargo ship looks like a good opening. I wonder if at some point we can pick up a sacrifice to finish the trashing that the sentry may miss out on. But let's see. Grinding is actually not bad. Sometimes Red Troll has a little bit of a money issue. I don't know what you would train. You may not have enough of anything to really be incentivized to train, but or I guess part of it is that you just are probably going to have a bunch of you're probably going to have a bunch of I think I'm willing to put there's some risk here, right? Cuz they can lurker. They could okay. So the problem here is that if let's just mull and buy a lurker, or possibly a fish village. If I put a bridge troll in now, the problem's going to be that I'll expose myself to them. Now they probably weren't going to do that because they probably just had to buy a sentry. So I probably could have put a bridge troll in the trash, frankly. But you know. I don't know if I try to put one thing in and then mull or what. That's not clear to me. I mean, I have like reasonable outs of finding the other lurker, but we can also just take something and buy another lurker. Isn't insane. We're kind of reaching the point where they say here where the sentry is gonna have a little bit of hard time trashing, so there's some appeal to but you know. And I probably have too many lurkers. It's just pretty unpunishing with mole. I'm not a super big fan of the den. I think I am going to go ahead and take the bridge troll on the 4th lurker. Like, these sentries are pretty easy to whiff on, but I'm going to need to get a fishing village. We should be able to all but guarantee finding the... Well, that's not really... We get 1 trash here, which is pretty good. I would like to go ahead and play the bridge troll. They still don't have a lurker. The guess I should. Person who's speaking, this is just like me comment. If you want to turn off your mic, I'll unmute you, and then you won't be server muted. But so we probably just add another bridge troll here. I don't know if the fifth lurker is starting to get a little out of hand. They're not bad though. I mean, with mole, they're honestly not bad. This is kind of rough. But not unexpected. So we can do a few different things here. You have a lurker now. What's the trash situation? I've trashed 4, they're 3, I think. I mean, I would like to try and play the bridge troll I gained, though that may not be feasible. This is like copper. Oh no, I still have another estate. I've only ever trashed 1 estate. It's not great. We can put something bad in the trash, I guess. Or something not super good. Nothing's really bad. But maybe we just mole and mole. We're trying to get to the bridge troll. That didn't work. We need to play this. Get rid of the that wasn't ideal. But can't play their 1 lurker really here. I mean, I guess they can, but this is going to be double fishing village for me. I probably need a sacrifice or develop. I'd say double fishing village. That's not something I'll be able to afford. But I was thinking it's like bridge. It is in fact not like bridge. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna work. I mean, I like the lurker stuff. It's a little stupid, but I kind of like it. If I had $6, I could train the lurkers. Then we would be in business. I still don't super love the dens, to be honest, but they're now at this stage maybe a little ahead of trashing. And of course, at the end, I probably am going to have way better 3-pile threat, though they're in a better position to score some here. I think the risk is that we find a window, or that we encounter a window where they score, have, you know, some okay gaining still, and then I you know, I whiff on whatever thing happening. I mean, this could still whiff in whatever terrible ways. This is nice. This is, in fact, super nice. I don't remember what we have in there. Is it just a bunch of estates and stuff? Maybe we just gain a couple cards. It may just be all junk, though we probably need to mold to it anyway to just not have it in hand. And then the question is whether we take yet another lurker. This is fortunately most of the junk now. The Sentry reveal is quite fortunate. Fortunately, we did get a bridge. We probably need to gain a fishing village. We can't. I mean, it's hard to even get back to the shuffle, right? It's hard to guarantee getting back to the shuffle. But so not super likely to. Negative really puzzling over this top deck. I don't know. We've trashed 13 of 20 starting cards. I still have like 3, so it's like a 3-4 split on that. Maybe I have 4 of them. I must, right? Because I have an estate, so I must have 4. I'm a little behind on the trashing. I could. There are 2 bridge trolls in the shuffle. So if I wanted to, I could mull this bridge troll instead of playing it. It would give me maybe a little better chance of hitting gaining the fishing village, I suppose, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. Oh, apparently it's way more than that. Apparently there are 3 in here. Okay. Well, we need to get fishing villages. So we'll try for that. Wow. That is actually nutty. That's so lucky. I don't know if we can get around to more of the fishing villages. That's probably the gain here. Probably should be the gain here. We didn't get to play the fishing village. We did bottom deck it, but still, this was a pretty big deal. We're definitely approaching a point where it's pretty risky for Neqativ to lower. But they could lower and score. I'm probably going to have to figure out a way to score. Neither one of us is actually... I was going to say, at some point you could have probably argued that Neqativ was in a better spot to score, but I'm not sure that's true. Maybe a little bit better. I'm not really sure. This is kind of a scary amount of lowering, I think. I can't play all... I mean, I can't really bring it all to bear as far as the gains. Right? Like, it's not... You know, it's not all there. But yeah, they don't really have a lot of money either. Now, if only I had trained lurkers, that would be something. They also don't really have the same number of gains as I have, so I can lower a little bit more than I can with the same threat. I mean, they have a little gain in play with develop, but it's not clear to me that I shouldn't like somehow prioritize trying to hit training this turn while getting down. It's just hard to do. It's hard to do all the things you really want to do here. I'm also not sure if we probably weigh the sentry, right? Like the lurker plays more valuable. The sentry thing is likely to not find anything, though there's maybe something good there. They're just buying Den. It's fine. And we can play 3 bridge trolls this turn and just buy a bunch of duchies. That's not too terrible. Maybe we can pile, I don't know. They're making it look, you know, feasible. Or closer to feasible. I don't think it's all that likely that I have the money to... I don't know. I don't think it's likely I get to a finish without being able to just buy duchy, but... I don't know. So we have this, and We're at 3. We can certainly just destroy the bridge trolls. That's, I wouldn't say. Having $3 at the end though is not, or $2, whatever amount of bucks, isn't trivial. The lurker split was like 8, right? Even if I use a lot of them for Wayne, we only need the $2, which we don't have. Okay, so now we have $2. Which means we just need to empty the bridge trolls and get the, and play the bridge troll, and then we'll have enough to do the duchy thing. They didn't really score a whole lot. That is gonna be tough for them, probably. Like I said, they I guess I have to hit refresh. Okay, it's not working. All right, maybe we had a server. Do you think they lower too far? Well, I mean, the last fishing village is pretty greedy. Importer doesn't look that good to me, but maybe it's okay. Draw here is pretty bad. You'll want to get, I don't know, is there something real money fast thing that you can do? Maybe. It's not like the buildup is super impressive, to be honest. Just because of how bad the draw is. But I don't know when will Island Folk. This is so sad. There's probably not going to be a split, honestly. So there's not like huge incentives to do it. Well, this is kind of annoying. Guess another importer. I mean, the importers are not great. Nothing is great. I didn't even draw the importer. So this is pretty bad. Well, at least they didn't hit an estate thing. Could have been worse. A little bit. We're sort of building. I am not finding. I am bottom decking stuff like nobody's business. They're top decking stuff like nobody's business. So we're gonna lose this game. At this stage, I don't know if he'd really do the King's Court stuff. It's gonna be really hard, especially if you miss. Maybe if you get Wisp on your first two Exorcist plays or something, but if you just whiff on those over and over, like I'm doing, and like even Neqativ doesn't actually have a spirit yet, so given that, I don't really anticipate the King's Courts being all that good. Like we're just doing money. At this stage probably. I guess you can try, if you really care about the Fool's Gold split, you can burn your island folk now, but I'm not sure it matters. I would just get another butcher, I think, off an importer. You can certainly be like, oh, I need the Fool's Gold split and burn your island folk. I don't think that's insane, but pretty sad here. I guess I'm going to use it. This isn't ideal at all, but I didn't even hit. Maybe I will take a King's Court with exactly 7. You're just asking to be sad, honestly, but they have a little better shot with the Workers' Village. And this will just be province. I don't see much reason to wait. Or much reason to get like a villa here. They go for another King's Court. I mean, yeah, if you're getting it right before the shuffle, I don't think that's crazy. I mean, if you collide them with Butcher one way or the other, you may get some use out of it. And also just change them into whatever's. This was like all my Fool's Golds in the first 2 shuffle, or in the first 2 draws, which I would have rather a little bit more distribution, but I guess it's better than bottom deck. I mean, it's way better than bottom decking, so. I'm curious if they'll ever actually get the draw as far as kinging stuff, or if it's just kind of doomed to did not do much. We didn't find. Well, I guess we either have King's Court. We could stop here. I mean, if King's Court's on top, it's probably good to draw. If King's Court is not, it would be a little nicer just to wait. We do have the other Butcher down here. It's like Villa, Butcher, King's Court, I guess. We could gain butcher and trigger, I guess. That wouldn't be as... That would maybe be have a little more appeal. Either that or we just take a duchy and... Like, what are the options? We can draw butcher, which wouldn't be great, but would be manageable. I think we don't play the wisp. So the question is, do we need to just fight for points and take duchies? I mean, they're about as good as whatever other thing. There's also Exorcist in here, whatever that's worth. It was kind of a pretty sad bottom deck, though at least our other ones were province buyers. I'm trying to think if we move the estate into a silver or not. I think the answer is no. We just do this. Yeah. This is okay-ish. The king and importer, which is like, I guess they're going to get a bunch of duchies. Which is nice. I mean, that's not bad on the last, probably the last shuffle. Now, if they shuffle again, then it could be a little, there could be some issues, but. I don't know how to play this one. Probably should have taken a butcher instead of the... Like, we're going to have 8 coffers. This is so awkward. It's like send one to province and one to gold. I guess we can send them both to province. Not have any and just hope we draw a bunch of fool's golds. Here we're just hoping to be like far enough in... Oh, yeah, this is always like... I mean, my deck was going to be a mess always, but I assume this is like pretty easy triple duchy. There is a world where I have 2 fool's golds on top and I buy province here, but... Even if we have butcher and we get to mill here, that would have been a pretty big help. It seems pretty unlikely that they shuffle, so I have a hard time imagining it's not just 3 duchies pretty quick. But I mean, you know, it's fine to think about. I know my butchers are going to collide with like 2. It's going to be like a hand of 3 fool's golds, 2 butchers or something. Which maybe isn't the worst hand. I mean, if I draw that at the top, that's probably okay. You can net a couple coffers while gaining a duchy and province. That would be a fine hand, actually. Like, if that were my hand right now, I would be in pretty good shape. Because that would get me to 5 provinces and to 5 province plus duchy, which starts to become a little bit annoying to come back. They obviously have the duchy gaining to do it. I don't know if they're just like calculating win right now, if that's the thing, or like when I mean they obviously they still have the island folk, so maybe there is some chance they shuffle actually due to island folk, but maybe they're just calculating if they can like if they have king province in hand and they can double province here, they may be just checking if that kind of wins. I mean, obviously that wins. I still don't know why you wouldn't just triple duchy. Guess you can just double duchy butcher or something, but like, I guess you could be looking at villas. I did forget about villa. Okay, that's fair. There may be some villa considerations. That's not too. That's not hard to imagine at all, actually. So, fair enough. I'll die if I have 2 fool's golds on top. I'll just lose my mind. With joy. I guess there counts stuff. I said it's or it's a perfectly good time to I do take 1 villa. It's not hard to believe that's the play. I don't feel good about my chances. It's not impossible. Their deck is messy too. It's not like one of us has super draw. One of us, they have a little more payload stuff, but they're not like dramatically cleaner than me. You know, there's some amount, but it's not like a crazy amount cleaner. I kind of have to hold out for maybe having the. I mean, I could top deck a gold and just not play the wisp and be like, oh, this is going to get me province, you know? But they even have another importer play, which is pretty nice. They don't have win in hand, so it was butcher. Do I mill here? How scary is mill here? They have 2 turns to province plus estate if I mill, or province plus a duchy if I mill, and they have an importer down. Yeah, okay, I can't do that. I cannot do that. I could mill a duchy, yes. I'm probably they're getting to double here, but it's sad. There's like totally a world where I just have mill plus province buy in hand. But I mean, not that many worlds, but it's not that crazy either. You know, I guess I just buy an estate. Like there's no. I'm just gonna lose now. This is not enough stuff. I left the Kingscourt and Butcher in, but we didn't find them, so that's a shame. If they ever have Kingscourt by province, do they just know they're gonna have? I mean, they have a good shot at it, I suppose, but they don't have it in hand, right? This is really weird to go for it here. Like, what? They don't have to. I mean, maybe the odds that they have a butcher are super, super high. But that feels a little weird to me. I guess the reason, I mean, I can see my hand, but I think they can just go on the Dutchy some more. I don't know. Maybe it made sense. They're only going to bottom deck 2 cards, so maybe it wasn't that crazy. It feels like there was a safer line for them to win there, just based on my deck. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I wasn't deck tracking them perfectly, so I don't know exactly what they had left either. That was a little sad. I mean, I had pretty bad draws, but I had the 4 copper Exorcist hand into the bottom deck Importer hand, so on the reshuffles. That's gonna be pretty rough. It still felt possible. I mean, obviously there were hands with the number of provinces they lowered it to. There were hands where I win. They're desperationing for a counterfeit. I don't know. I'll desperation for an altar. I don't know if I'm desperationing for a. I don't know if I'm desperate enough for a counterfeit. This is interesting though. I don't know if I like it. We'll find out. I get another altar. Seems pretty good. Take a counterfeit. I'm gonna just keep riding a lot here. I mean, at some stage, I guess Hamlet is better. I don't know exactly where that is, but yeah, I mean, that's reasonable to take a Hamlet at some stage. What am I gonna draw? It's gonna be like a bunch of garbage. I think I'm still on rides. If they draw, like they can, this is the deck they're playing, right? They play the fatter deck. If they find stuff at the top, it probably, like if they find the barge soon, like I probably just fall so behind I don't have a shot. Hamlet here doesn't really make a lot of sense. Man, why can I not? It's okay. It's actually fine. It's not really changing much. They still have all their curses. I guess they drew them in that starting hand. That's cool. I'm glad about that. Pretty glad about that. This will probably be like bar double Hamlet. I don't actually know exactly what this is, but I think it's a state copper. They do a festival. Yeah, they're fine. I have the militia, which isn't clearly that good, but you know, whatever. What do I take? What do I take? I think my plan was pretty good, whatever I said. I don't know. Seems okay. They're going to lose the curses now, or the green / curses, whatever. No, they still are holding 2 of them. Well, that's good. This next hand is probably pretty cruddy. It's got a festival. It's like festival junk. So they probably just buy a hamlet with it or something. Draw the militia. Sometimes you can speak, you can speak things into existence. But not today. This has just got to be another barge. Just gonna pile out hamlets, barges, and peddlers, I guess. I could have ridden. Be nobles. I could get another altar. I don't really need another altar, actually. It's not a big a deal. That's a bummer. I do have points lead, though, so if we do just kind of through the piles, then there's at least that going for me at this point. I mean, that probably won't last, but there's definitely free pile on its way. Like this will be the. I may even, well, it'll be hard for them to do that and score. So. Last card's counterfeit. I guess there's not going to be a great gain in play to do here. I mean, we could do one. Does it make sense to gain and play a barge? Or like get a festival? Did we be like discard? We don't really have the hand size for it, unfortunately. We do have the action, I think. Or close to it anyway. The problem is that next Hamlet's gonna draw something like good. I think we just shoot for finding the nobles or the militia. Okay, we are gonna need one more action. We'll toss this and then, okay. Do we do buy? I guess we have to think of whether we care about buying in nobles versus like emptying the peddlers here. Versus whatever other thing. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I have $6. And have instead $5, which would be another peddler. Let's go with 6. I like the nobles. They're a little bit of wait. I'm not good at counting. This is $4. I have $8. $8 would be like Hamlet peddler, probably. Okay, that's a little different. If we don't care about the Hamlet, do we care about the Hamlet? Why not? Maybe we are supposed to care about the Hamlet. My take here is that they can't score enough. I don't know if that's true. It can certainly pile out. I guess another component of my take is I don't even know if they draw, right? They're not necessarily guaranteed to draw. They still have a estate and 2 curses. Is that right? They still have an estate and 2 curses? Hmm. An estate and 2 curses. I guess it can trash the curses. That'll help with the points thing. I don't think they're going to have the money, though. They're going to need a fairly expensive. Okay, they stop here. And then switch curse for duchy. They still just end up. They still can't draw, right? Not well, anyway. I mean, they have the barge, so that's something, but I don't really have a good 3-pile, but I don't have to 3-pile either. I just have to keep doing what I'm doing. And like, if I buy province, you know, that's way more robust than Negative has set up here. Okay. This is so weird. Like, there's no shot that this is like, I don't think so. I don't think this is it. I don't know. And like, now obviously I'm not gonna pile, but I don't know. It's a play. I think I'm getting up to like I think I'm gonna get to $18 here. I don't think I have an estate Hamlet pile out here. But like this is fine. I just show them and buy a province. They don't suddenly, I don't know, they don't suddenly have draw that works really well or anything like that. I think that's fine. Like what? Maybe I take a duchy off the altar. I don't know. I probably don't lower. I might just take a festival off the altar. Hopefully, gain and playing it. But I don't know that we have. I don't know if we have that much. It also has to compete with just like the last card. No, no. It also has to compete with just like playing the barge as a duration barge. I think it's okay to put in a festival here. It may be better to. It may have been better to figure out a way to do. We almost have, or we can double actually. Double seems pretty good. It's that or just province nobles. We trashed a couple more cards. Obviously, we didn't duration. That's kind of sad. They'll probably attack us. Like double, they're not gonna get the points for sure. Kind of nice to have the curses lower a little bit too. We're actually not like million miles away from a curse pile out now at this point. Maybe that's just, maybe that even, well, it probably doesn't work yet. But we're getting there, right? What else do we have? What else was there? There was like, this is not great. We are getting militiaed here, so this is pretty horrible opening hand, but what can you do? Is it 4 to 3 barges? Do I have 3 barges? Yeah. Maybe they're good and maybe they get out the estates, or maybe they get out the curses here that they took. It's still a hand size thing, right? At some point. Like if you want to trash the 2 curses, that's 4 of these cards, and there's a militia and things. And if you need the action, you need. This is a terrible opening hand, though. Well, okay, like you'd rather this than complete junk, but it's just pretty scary. Seems likely that I should have thought a little bit more in a barge. But definitely, I don't know if they're into a spot where I think the points are probably too much, where they could empty the curses. Certainly, if they duration on their or desperation on their turn, I should probably Well, I say that, but I don't have the a lot of my draws here in hand, unfortunately. So like, are they just gonna like? Oh, they're drawing. Isn't this a nightmare shuffle? Am I missing something? They don't have a win, do they? Didn't they just make it like a horrible, horrible shuffle for themselves? So like I don't even have to play around piles particularly on my turn. They're gonna buy province. Is this a win? Wow. That's pretty nice. Nice. That is unfortunate. What could I have done? I don't know. I mean, did they have buy? I didn't count buys. I don't know if I go province nobles, they still probably can do that. I'm guessing. I don't know. We have a wall here. Bit of a pain. This is just a double amulet. I mean, you could do amulet sacrifice. I thought I had that last one. What other things could I mean? I could have duchied and province nobles, maybe. I'm not sure. There may be something to sacrifice. Otherwise, I don't really know what you're doing here besides buying provinces once you can afford them. I guess you could build a sacrifice estate deck that pumps out VP tokens, but that's going to be really bad. All right, we miss. This sucks. You can do different things, but sadness. Obviously, don't have to open the double, but they take a sacrifice, which again I think is totally fine. I think this is probably mostly about whether you find your amulets. And I really prefer Ride over Haven, I think. That doesn't seem, I don't know, that doesn't seem really close to me, but maybe it is. I mean, we could get through a lot of the provinces without even poking our heads above 15 potentially. Maybe it's not. I'm trying to think if I get a Soothsayer here. Probably. It's not like super good, but the golds are pretty good. They can probably handle the curses, but buy an advisor. This is pretty annoying. I don't know. Pretty good advisor for them. That was really nice. Really nice. Draw there for me. I wonder if we keep. This is the question now, whether we're doing Soothsayer or whether we're just doing Seer. Because we wouldn't keep the Necro probably. You just want to do Seer stuff. Excuse me. I mean, they have their amulet, right? So I can. Maybe it doesn't matter, but. Or maybe it's worse to just give them the sacrifice. They can sacrifice for points and still probably buy something nice. Yeah, that probably wasn't it. I'm gonna lose on the back of two sacrifice points. Though they likely would have gotten a chance to do it anyway, but. No Seer, or no Seer. That's pretty a bummer. That's a huge bummer, actually. The way bottom deck amulet double Seer, silver. Terrible. Stupid. That's infuriating. At least if we had the other silver, we could buy province. That's just unworkable draw. I don't get the messenger at all, but whatever. I basically never understand messenger, frankly. Or why. I don't think the buy is that good here. Could be wrong. They're like still approaching wall stuff. Mostly I'm just mad. What is the point? What was the... Why? So confusing. Maybe I just leave this Seer on top. Still don't have... We go for gain of silver again. Oh, why do you buy a messenger? What is the point of that? I just fully don't get what they're doing. Man, I cannot get... Cannot get draws here to save my life. Like, they're so... I don't even know why they're so bad. It's just like 3 seers down here. Like, I'm just bottom decking. I mean, I can province here, but I don't... Maybe I just do it. This still, and I have to play a seer even to do it. The messenger still confused me to no end here. This probably just lets them top deck a... Like, what are they... I'm going to lose to it, and I don't like it. Get it. And I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose to it. It makes no sense to me. It makes me so mad. This is pretty nice. We're both at the edge of wall stuff. Well, they must be beyond that, but I don't know what they have that makes them be -2 on that right now, but whatever. I don't think there's any reason to like expect that they'll draw, for them to expect to like draw deck every time or anything. I mean, they can do it some, but here they've just gained a messenger for the sake of the who knows what. Okay. We already have the here. So it is, I guess the question is what's worse, to leave out, I guess it's advisor seer, so that's not terrible. It's advisor seer double province. Which surely isn't horrible. It's not great. Oh, we draw the other province. Okay. Well, okay. This doesn't matter. They're going to draw deck here. But maybe you don't discard silver there. I don't know. Okay, it didn't. If they're doing that, it didn't matter. They sure are gonna double province, but who cares? Well, I mean, I care a little bit because I'm gonna whiff now, but you know. Man, if they give me the seer, I'll just die. Okay. This is still okay, right? One. This either scores 6 or it scores 4 or 5 or whatever. They have 20, so they're way over. So like they can only score 7 points, right? I guess they can trash some stuff. They maybe can score 8 points. 8-ish points, 9-ish. 8 to 9 points. They may have a tie. I don't know. I mean, I don't have an option here, right? I mean, I got to do this. But they can't score 10. They can't score 10 points. I actually think their play here was like super bad. Like, what is the messenger nonsense about? I hate that. Oh well. 2 more. I don't even know if mine was any good. I had terrible draws. I mean, I could have been doing that province stuff like 2 full turns faster than I got there with like not bottom decking Sears. And amulet misses, because it would have been just trivial to get to the 4 silver or 3 silver, almost no coppers deck faster than I did it. Now I wouldn't have had as many Sears, so maybe that would have cost me a turn later on. But I did draw okay during the greening part. Like that turn I had, whatever, advisor, triple. I mean, like the Sears pretty likely to hit, but it was still a little lucky. I think the thing with the Sear was that it was like, I think it just pulled like 3 silvers, right? It didn't pull any, it didn't see any Sears. That was the lucky part. So maybe I was just super lucky. This is, you gotta just, the only draw is Hunter. I hate Hunter. I hate Hunter so much. Do you do horse traders? Do you do cut purse? Because you can do horse traders. If they do cut purse, they're probably playing into you a little bit. There's not a lot of, I mean, you're gonna build draw because you gotta buy colonies, but there's not like a huge amount of stuff going on here. They hit, I don't know if you do Coven first. I'm not totally clear on if you do Coven at all. To be honest, I'm kind of trying to think what's the quickest way to platinum, right? Not that I think Coven, I mean, if you can get the curses out, I don't think it's unreasonable, but if it costs you a lot, and it may not cost you a lot, right? I mean, the Coven still gives you money. You can buy the 5s. If you get a Tiara, is the Tiara like better than silver in any way? I mean, it's good later, but it's much better once you have the platinum. Man, why can I not? I've had just garbage reshuffles on the opening. This set, just like repeatedly. I don't know what you take. Take like a Hamlet. Another Tiara seems super not that good. I guess we get to, I'm not even sure reacting there is all that great for me. They're gonna buy Hunter now, I assume. I would love it if they bought another Coven. Yeah, I think I love that. I think it's not good, but this is not good either. least I didn't find the silver, I guess. But we don't. It's like it's still gonna just be like a $4 hand. Okay, well. Oh, I forgot Tiara does top decking. I always forget that. Man, that was. Okay, Tiara does top decking, so you don't have to hide that you have a Tiara. You go ahead and play it. You use its effect. Holy cow! Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The horse trader's triple cannot hit. Yeah, like that hand not hitting. I missed. Can't deal with it. Now I'm just playing Tiara like an idiot. Well, even more like an idiot, probably. Verify. I'm so mad at myself. Way more than I am. Like I was whining about the shuffles, but I'm just way more mad at myself than anything. Um, does TR spoils work anymore? Does that even do a thing? I don't know what the rules are nowadays about this kind of stuff. I had no idea. It could just be nothing. Do we trigger the shuffle? Gotta be probably pretty bad to trigger. I guess we'll find out. Yay. So here we'll take whatever hunters we can get in a, I don't know. Well, we'll see what's there. I could even go into covens now and probably curse them faster than they curse me. Or at least some chance of that. That was beautiful. Oh man. Okay, Hunter's the best card ever printed. Who could complain about a glorious and just like overall just, really great and fun, good, wise card. I mean, you draw 3, it's like a super loud. Why would you not? Why wouldn't you just be crazy over it? We'll get by here. This doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, it's the worst card. It's just like why they print this garbage. I wonder if we get a silver. I wonder if silver's any good. Probably not. I'm kind of trying to figure out what's the balance of actions here. Like I have some of these hamlets, but I don't know totally how good they are. I guess they're worth tower points, maybe. Oh, my curses won't be negative points for me if he empties them. Or if say I empty. Did I pass on a hamlet at one point? Maybe I shouldn't have. I didn't see towers on the board till now. That's like just kind of hard to see everything. Can't see everything. Possibles. Too hard. That's interesting. I am interested. Maybe I should have picked up an engineer and been like, oh, I'm gonna buy these hamlets, you know? Very interesting. Look, Hunter is so bad. They gonna buy a platinum? Probably. I would, I think. I guess I could excuse me. I'm not sure what I was gonna say about what I guess I could do. What do I have left? Play this well probably requires deck tracking that I'm not super into doing. It's like in general. I wonder, yeah, that's interesting. The Tower Coven thing. I don't know if it'll be relevant, but all I gotta do here is buy 5 hamlets, right? And then they're like, oh, can I play the Coven? I don't know. If I play the Coven, maybe I lose. Like, oh, I gotta buy a province or fairgrounds or whatever. I wonder what my fairgrounds are worth. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. Pretty close to 10. Probably if after post bandit camp I have spoils in. Anyway, there's no reason not to just click this. I shouldn't be wasting too much time on this. Just get another. Okay. There's no super huge incentive here to. We can make a lot of money though. Oh gosh, sorry. I did the knee thing. We can make a lot of buys. We're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buys. Pretty good amount of buys. We could buy 1,000,000 tiaras as well, I suppose. I feel like we don't need to get an additional hamlet buy here. Excuse me. Well, this is cool. I'm happy. I don't necessarily need to stop for a platinum. Not that it would be bad. We could just platinum colony. Wait a little bit. See if the curses get lower before we're like, oh, we got to do this hamlet stuff. We probably won't draw a tiara for this platinum, which makes top decking it maybe a little sad, but any fairgrounds we get now are definitely 4 partners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. We're actually not too far from higher than that. They resign. Yeah, the Covens look. Maybe they had some really rotten draws and I wasn't paying good enough attention, but I dislike the Covens quite a lot. Also, my draws improved. As if we needed more. That you should complain about your luck a lot. I guess you do the star chart overlord. I mean, what are we doing here? It's like storyteller. Is it like storyteller? Like storyteller money? Dens? I mean, like. This is not obvious to me, but I'm going to try it. Or this isn't totally clear to me. It's got to be like okay-ish. If not the best. I mean, obviously you can always just not buy Star Chart and get lucky. That's always an option. And sometimes it's the better option. I think one of my neighbors, this is not like an apartment neighbor, this is like a house. A house neighbor is it's just like singing Zombie. Not enough to hear it. Super funny. I will top deck an Overlord, thank you. They opted for the, I guess 4-3 is a little worse for the Star Chart thing. No rats. I guess I just buy another silver. See, they did the thing where you just top deck it via natural ability. I wonder if they'll buy another Overlord. I'm kind of leaning towards no, but maybe the answer is yes. What if instead of saying no, we said yes? Stupid game, I hate it. Can't even be a silver in here with it. Would it kill them to give me a silver? Alright, I drew the Overlord. Complaining done. This was fine. I'm happy. Man, what? I would have liked a silver here. I'll be honest. I would have liked a silver there. There's like, it's like three, there's like 3 of them in here. I guess I could play the upgrade first. I feel like we gotta do at least whatever cycling we can get here and trashing. Now is a question, do we... probably not the debt here. I wonder if it's a duplicate. Or if that's bad. Could be a duplicate. That's not crazy. There's a silver. I don't think duplicate is crazy there. Maybe not crazy good, but... we can buy regular storytellers or something? I don't know. What if they take Den? I don't know. Den is kind of... well, pair of Dens is pretty okay. I wouldn't go much beyond that, but like a pair is pretty nice. I wonder if Alter has a place here. They're taking Den. Like, I can get behind that. Doesn't, you know, it doesn't make me too sad. Well, this is pretty sad because I would really like to not. I would really like to trash a card here. Guess we could go double Den. Thing I said I wouldn't do. I guess we could take the single Den now. What are we doing? One, two, three, four. Those just have $10, I guess. I don't know. That's probably not it. We got 1/3. All right, we'll go through. Still don't know what the play is though. Maybe I should just top tech a silver. Maybe we're gonna have a pair of dens. They buy an altar. Not huge altar fan, to be honest. It's not really, not super feeling the altar. I'm gonna trash a couple cards here. And then, what am I gonna do? We're still figuring it out. Still figuring it out. I mean, the altar is okay. I don't hate it. But I don't love it. You know, if you feel me. Maybe it's okay. They do have some villagers, which is kind of nice. Well, they have one villager. They only managed to accumulate one villager that whole time they were doing the just overlord stuff. It's sort of crazy to me, but it appears to be true. Like there were no terminals. Huh, interesting. All right, well, what are we gonna do? How do we win this? What's the game? Like, what do you do on this game to win? Like, if you're gonna win this game instead of losing it, what would you do? Hypothetically. 2 debt, pay 2 debt. Because there's obviously some different potential angles. We can. I think we have enough money for this. We could maybe duplicate a couple gold here. What are we doing? And we duplicate a couple golds. We trash. What is the money situation? I have like 4 silvers. There's just like 3 silvers down here. I mean, if that's the case, which I don't know that it, I think I can just upgrade through. If this is my play. Kind of like the duplicate. Oh, feel a little ashamed to admit it, but we need capitalism here to really spice it up. That would be a board. That would be for real a board. What are we gonna do on our turn? We just like, I kind of want to start provincing because I feel like they're not gonna. But I would like to probably at least be double provincing, or maybe single into double, something like that. That will require to stop playing the duplicate or to, you know, to change it into something. Now they have a duplicate that's copying me. Are they going to draw it and then do it and then do an alter and then gain a bunch? That's kind of cool. I mean, you know. Time to put pressure on. We're going to green. Hopefully this isn't a huge mess up. Green. Maybe. I'm going to think about green. You're going to have to get a bunch of upgrades and then upgrade into golds. I think if they buy Overlord now, that's a huge mistake. I would like to see it. I believe it's too much at this point, money to pay. My opinion. They don't do it. That's why not? Why not do it? So here's the question. Do we do another gold duplication? Or what's the deck? It's 2 golds, a duplicate. Okay. That's like pretty good money. So you can't necessarily draw it every time. But we could trash yet another copper. We should make a plan before we do anything. We can upgrade the duplicate into something that's not so good here. We could also the issue is the terminal space a little bit. That's part of the issue. So we don't have any. So we can, this would take $3 to draw. $3 to draw. Good. That would give us, if we play that, we'd have, we could go like Province Storyteller maybe? Or Province. Oh my gosh. I guess we all knew that was coming. I guess we all knew that was coming. One of the things that we all knew was coming. So sad. So sad and annoying. We would only, no, we would have had $16. We could have gone Overlord Province. I guess the alternative is to destroy the dens. Or destroy one of the dens, I guess. I don't know if that's really much. And I'm so mad. That's so obnoxious. With this outcome, it would have just been a million times better to trash a copper and duplicate 2 gold or something. We can still double gold, which maybe is the play. Or we get, oh man, this is annoying. I'm so mad. We'll see what they get together with their upgrade stuff. Like, they're just going to be upgrading into golds and stuff, but they may not do too much here. I don't know. They have some silver. Yeah, they're still a little draw limited. They can eventually upgrade their altar through Forge to Province. Maybe something they pursue. Oh, I'm so mad. Kind of looks like they're setting up for that. They still don't have, I don't know, this isn't like that good. So we want to draw all this, I guess. It's so stupid. I hate this stupid game. If we ever had everything in hand, we could do the upgrade. We could upgrade, you know, and get there. But we didn't, so we don't. Do we just start double provincing? How much extra money do we have off this? I would love to get like Mountain Wisp is not that good, but fine. How much money do I have? Pretty good amount of money. I mean, we need to have some loose for we need to have some loose for storytelling as we add junk here. I think we can double province again. Maybe we're okay. Maybe we didn't even need to double province there. I think my question is more along the lines of like, are they going to get into a position where they can double province plus something else? And if so, what do we do about that? How long? Mostly a question of how long does that take them to get to that kind of spot? Because it may not take them as long as I'm hoping. Stupid. Stupid. Wind's gift. We had $20, I think. And we had played out. There's still 3 coppers, right? We had $20 and we had played out 5 of it. We really have $25 in deck. And play up to 9. Like if we had a triple gold storyteller, we could do it. And if that drew deck, it would still let us double. They're already provincing. They're not really set up to do that again. I mean, they don't have a 6. Well, they're the gold, but they don't have a... I don't honestly know exactly what they have, but... Hope I won. We're gonna draw 4 of these. So to draw deck, we would have to play a. So we need to see at least either gold, silver, or gold duplicate copper, or double. You know. Gold, silver, gold duplicate. Double silver duplicate. They will have some milling power. No, they lose their 4. I don't know. Do they? I don't know how much money they have. That's the real. This patron's played out. They have a gold, I guess. They haven't shuffled. Never mind. They have. Well, they do have a gold, right? They have. I have 4, and they have 2. They have a gold in hand, and they've lost a silver, so they just have 1 silver in hand. You're gonna trigger. They didn't lose their duplicate yet. It's not on the mat or anything. Duplicate a silver. What else was in the discard for? And I feel fine with the duchy line, actually. That doesn't particularly scare me. They're not getting a den down here. They don't have province. They're not going to triple province. I don't think it makes sense to play around triple province. Oh, I also have the wisp. I forgot about the wisp. Wisp also works. Well, that's not great. That probably helps them a little. But I still don't think they triple province. Didn't even draw. There are 2 upgrade plays left, 1 overlord play left. Yeah, that's not gonna. If you do like more upgrading into 4s, not useful. I do have to think here. I don't know that I can double. Well, I should say I say that It's possible if I have the... Certainly possible, depending on where the cards are. Like, I mean, this is already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. This is already 12, and I don't have any of the golds. But I can also draw a bunch of garbage. Because it's not very many of the provinces. There's still 3 provinces in a 10. I don't think there's any, like, I don't think it's any sense guaranteed anymore, even though I have some extra leeway for sure. Does province duchy still look pretty insurmountable, though? They're not actually that good at duchy and now. They've burned through a lot of their 4s. So... I guess you might as well play the wisp as itself. It draws... I was about to mule the wisp, but you might as well see. Maybe it'll hit. Is this double? 11, yeah. Just... well, there's one loose. Hey, now I get the Sacred Grove I want. I didn't need it. I didn't really want that. Forest would have been pretty good for me at different points. All right, well, hope you enjoyed it. I really felt like I could... Or obviously you can't complain either, so... in any case, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I will catch you all later.